What you guys, so you're still using Windows 7 and you want to know whether you're safe or not and what my opinion is. Well, I've read a lot of comments on some of my videos about Windows 7, and I've also read a lot of comments on other people's videos about Windows 7. So what we're going to do here is go through what I personally think about Windows 7 and why you should probably upgrade to another operating system. So first off, Windows 7 was launched in 2009, which is probably 10-11 years ago, which is a long time. The operating system itself looks pretty dated and pretty old, and you will be able to continue to use Windows 7 for the foreseeable future if you want to, but that comes at certain risks. What are those risks? Well, you're going to stop receiving security updates from Microsoft. Now, the argument that some people say is scaremongering from Microsoft, or people that are trying to get you to upgrade to Windows 10, and it's simply not true. The fact of the matter is, without any support, this operating system will then become vulnerable. Microsoft will obviously cease any sort of support for it, which means now it's going to be just getting worse day by day. And of course, if you're doing banking or any sort of accounting or anything like that for business with lots of money, then it could be a real high security risk for that company. Then the software that you're starting to use on that operating system will start to become obsolete, and this will cause problems because software will be no longer receiving security updates from its developers, which is increasing the likelihood that exploitation and vulnerabilities will become known by other hackers and attackers that are trying to infiltrate Windows 7. So there's quite a lot to take into account there. Also, users will therefore be more vulnerable to malware attacks, and particularly ransomware like WannaCry and other nasty types of encryption ransomware, which once it hits the system, it will start to encrypt all your data. Then you'll get people saying you just need to install an antivirus program and also a firewall. Well, that's assuming that antivirus programs are going to continue to support Windows 7 in the foreseeable future, because Microsoft have now made that system obsolete, which then means that some of the software companies will start to cease updating their software for that particular operating system. And the same could be said for browsers. Browsers may stop working and may stop updating them, which then makes it more vulnerable for man-in-the-middle attacks and other nasty malware that can get onto the system via the browser. Also, you ask any PC repair tech how many Windows 7 systems they removed malware from back in the day, and I can tell you it was really, really bad. They used to get heavily infested with malware, and most of them had antivirus programs installed on them, and that's because malware was so clever it used to bypass them and also disable them. And it was that easy for malware to get onto a Windows 7 system. So Windows 10, not so much so. Ask the PC repair tech nowadays and they'll tell you they very rarely remove malware from a Windows 10 machine, because it's probably more than likely something like 3 times more secure than Windows 7 when it comes to malware attacks. It just can't get onto the system and penetrate it. Even ransomware has a much more tougher job getting onto Windows 10. That's why you don't see many PC repair techs removing malware from Windows 10, and you don't see me doing any sort of malware removal videos for Windows 10. The most you'll see for Windows 10 machines getting infected is with junkware or adware. That's probably going to be about it. The odd person might get the odd bit of malware, but it's very hard to penetrate Windows 10 because the security levels are a lot higher. Now, ransomware is still bad in 2020, so you will need to make sure that you're still staying safe from ransomware, and that may be even more said for Windows 7. You may want to get yourself some ransomware protection and also use some other methods to stay safe if you continue to use Windows 7. But then you'll get the people saying that I've continued to use Windows 7 and Windows XP in 2020 and I've never got infected, and I've never had an antivirus program. Well, maybe you've been very lucky, or you're either very clued up and you don't do certain things to get infected. But that doesn't mean the masses won't, because the majority of people are beginner level at most, and a lot of them even fall for those Microsoft scams on the internet. If people are falling foul to those and they're actually getting scammed, then that just goes to show you the level of knowledge they have about computers. So it's actually educating yourself to become a bit more knowledgeable so you don't get infected, and teach yourself a little bit more security about how to stay safe online and how to do online banking safely. Unfortunately, Windows 7 is going to be like driving your car without checking your brakes or oil or changing your tyres for the foreseeable future. You can imagine how dangerous that will be when you're driving your car if you've never checked your brakes for 3 years, or you've never changed the oil, or you've never changed your tyres. You can run in the risk of having an accident, and that's exactly what Windows 7 is going to become. A big major problem if you don't do something about it. You might be safe right now, but how safe will you be in 2 years' time, or even longer? The older it gets, the less secure it's going to get. So how long are you going to continue to use Windows 7? Another 10 years? It's already dated right now. So you're putting yourself at massive risks by using Windows 7 as you are right now. You may as well just upgrade, because you're going to have to eventually. You know what I mean? It's going to become so dangerous to use on the internet, and some people tell you it's completely safe and it's all a load of nonsense. Well, these people don't know anything about security or IT at all. These are just people on the internet that make content, and just to show you that they're using Windows 7 themselves. You've only got to look at what happened in 2017 to the NHS. That's millions and millions of pounds, over £92 million of damage done to hardware which was hit with WannaCry ransomware, and that's because someone left a scanning machine plugged into the internet, and those were Windows 7 machines. It just goes to show you how vulnerable people are when they're using an old operating system like that. And also with the neglect from Microsoft not updating it or anything like that, it's going to be really vulnerable. Now, okay, you could be in the extended updates program which will last 3 years, but it'll also cost you an absolute fortune to stay in that program. And of course there's the other people that are trapped with Windows 7 because they're businesses that have got software that's proprietary to Windows 7 and they can't afford to upgrade to Windows 10 because the software won't work, and it will cost an absolute fortune to upgrade all the software to Windows 10. And some people feel let down by Microsoft for forcing them to upgrade to Windows 10. But at the end of the day, everyone knew that this day was coming, just as it was coming with Windows XP, and no one likes it, but it's just the way it is. It's Microsoft's operating system. They can do whatever they like. I suppose everyone's biggest concern with Windows 10 is the privacy settings and about collecting data, but personally I don't think it's as bad as what people make out. I mean, what sort of data are they collecting? What are you worried about? Most people that complain about it are still using Google search engines. They are still using YouTube, which is collecting data. They're still using Amazon to do all their shopping, which collects data. They're still using the internet because they're commenting on videos that about Windows 10, and they're using the internet. Their ISP is collecting data. You fill out census records every 10 years that collects data about you, your family, how much you earn, do you own your house, you know, all this sort of stuff. You have to fill in forms. It's a constant thing. Your mobile phone company collects data. They can literally, everywhere you go, Facebook, you name it, it collects data. If you don't like the way companies collect data, then unplug from the internet, go and live in Alaska somewhere underneath a rock, because that's exactly what you're going to have to do if you don't want companies collecting data on you. Now, the people that do moan about the collecting of data on Windows 10 normally are using, say, Linux, or they may be using Windows 7 or Windows XP, and they think they're being clever, but they're still having data collected on them because they're watching YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're using Google, you know, they've got a mobile phone. Unless they're completely, you know, off grid and they're not doing any of that stuff. I mean, even the electric companies monitor your electricity now via those little meters. That's collecting data. You can't escape it. These people are complete wackos. They really are. So remember, guys, Windows 10 is completely free. You can use it with a watermark for indefinite use. You don't have to activate it or anything like that. There's a couple of restrictions and they're not that bad. So if you do need to do it, you can do it. But if you're one of these people that just can't, because you're a company and you've got software that's proprietary to Windows 7, you can't upgrade and you have to stay with Windows 7 for a bit longer, then you're just going to need to make sure you batten down the hatches, i.e. use things like OpenDNS, Family Shield or something like that that's going to protect you and block a lot of stuff on the internet. Make some real big changes like regular backups, get some antivirus software on there, get some firewall on there as well, and also get yourself some sort of anti-ransomware program on there to keep yourself safe. You can also do other things as well to do keep your system safe. But if you want to see a video about how to stay safe on Windows 7, let me know in the comment section below and I'll do my best to make that video for you, so you'll be able to see basically how you can set it up and get it safe as possible in 2020 if that's what you want to see. Okay, anyway, I'm starting to waffle on and I need to end this video. It's been going on for quite a while. Hope this one helps you out. Hope this clears it up. I'm pretty sure it's going to get a few bad comments in the comment section below, but good or bad, let me know what you think. Anyway, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Thanks again for watching and thanks for your continued support. I shall see you again for another video tomorrow. Bye for now. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the red subscribe button and then hit the bell notification button and click all to be notified when we upload new videos.